So hey guys, welcome back to the Ducky Code C++ series. This is the third video in the series where I'm going to teach you how the C++ program structure looks like. So in C++, what we do first when we type a program is include header files. So if you have used any other programming languages, it's okay if you haven't. So I'll explain what are header files later, but if you have used any other programming languages, these header files are just like imports, like library imports or file imports, etc. So header files are essentially imports or library packages which give you predefined or pre-made functions that make your development job easy. So what we do first in C++ is, as I said, define our headers. So how do we do that? First, we type this hash include. Now, what is this hash include? Hash include is a keyword. Now, keywords are, identifiers or tokens that the compiler can identify, or the compiler knows that these words are special. These set of characters are special, and the compiler uses these keywords to identify and perform certain actions after compilation, or set certain actions in machine code so that the CPU will have an easier time executing the tasks, etc. So these keywords just get translated into machine code that tell the CPU what to do, and the compiler can understand these keywords. Now, as I said, this hash include is a keyword. Now we are going to include one such library, let us say, or header called Iostream. Now what is Iostream? As you can see, the first two characters of this is called I and O. What is IO? Input and output. Input and output stream. So this Iostream library deals with all the input and output functionality of the program. Now let us move on. The second most important thing we have to do is using namespace. Now what does this do? Using namespace is like, I'll I'll tell you that a bit down the video. So we will be using this namespace std. Now what is this std? Now if I create my main function, now how is the main function created? You type in int. Now don't worry what int is. I'll be teaching you all about data types in later videos. So we are going to open the main function. That is the main keyword. Open and close parenthesis. Open and close curly brackets. And in here, I'm going to type cout. Now what is cout? Cout is essentially the print function of C++. So what cout does is basically output any string or text onto your terminal window. So I'm going to type here hello world, and I'm going to use semicolon. So what this semicolon indicates is this is the end of the statement, and the compiler will just jump to the next statement if there is any after the semicolon. Now I'm going to save this program. Now as you can see here, I have directly called cout, and here I have used using namespace std. But what if I remove this line and save the program? You will see I have run into an error. So what is the solution to this error? I'll show you this. So the solution would be typing in std colon colon. Now this is your namespace. So since I told you C++ is a object-oriented language, and this Iostream has classes inbuilt. So what this Iostream does is it gives you the cout function. Now the cout function extends some class. Now I will tell you all about object-oriented programming and how to use object-oriented programming in C++. later down in the advanced C++ series, but I just want you to know that this cout function implements another class, the std class. So I have to include its namespace, or I have to mention its namespace when I use this function. So this is pretty long and it is pretty cumbersome to type. Instead of typing std all the time, I can just use using namespace std. Now that is why I am typing this line after the include statement. Now I do not need to have this std colon colon before my cout function, and I can use the program as it is. And this is basically the structure of a C++ program. Now since it is int main, I will have to return something. Now again, I will teach you about data types, etc., and return types later down in the tutorials. But you just have to remember integer or int is the data type that expects a integer in return. So this is a function. This function can return things. I will also teach you about more about functional programming later down in the series, but for now, let's just say this is a function, and this function is returning something of the type integer. So integers are basically numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, numbers like this. So I will have to return 0. Now, why am I returning 0? Because 0 means that this code has executed successfully, regardless of this line running or not. What if I return 1? Well, 1 means there is an error, so I will just be returning 0. Now, this program is ready to execute. As I had shown you in the previous video, you can execute a C++ program like this, G++ test.cpp, and you can see our program has compiled without any error. And I'm going to run this exe file, a.exe. There we go, we've got hello world with no problems. That would be it for this video, and in the next video I will be going in depth into data types. So goodbye all, and thanks for your time. Please like and subscribe if you like what I'm posting. See you guys later.